Allez les Bleus. They went to Dublin. They got the performance. They smashed a win over tournament favourites Ireland. And now they head back to Paris to face the Scots for what should just be a procession towards the Six Nations Championship. They can't mess it up, can they? Hello, amateurs. Welcome back to our Six Nations series, and I'll be with you here towards the end of the championship and beyond. So hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any future episodes. Now, that brilliant win by France, myself and Alco went through it in loads of detail. I'll link it up there for you. Go and give that one a watch if you haven't watched it already. It's a tough watch for poor old Alco, very emotional during that one, but we got through it. But today I'm going to be looking at the France team that I expect to be picked to play Scotland in the final game of this year's Six Nations on Super Saturday. Couple of squad updates. Dupont obviously out with that knee injury, which now looks like fully diagnosed is going to be quite a bad one. Hopefully it's as simple as those ones can be and there's not like associated damage to cartilage and stuff like that. And we get him back in our game as soon as possible, fit and healthy. Also out Barassi following the head clash with Calvin Nash. In comes Baptiste Serron, who has been tearing it up in the top 14 for Toulon this season. Absolutely some wizardry has been going on at the by Serron over there, creating some incredible tries. France have got so many scrum halves, it's just ridiculous. Okay, that French performance was quite outstanding. They just battered Ireland, but then just the beautiful hands and the icing on the top of the cake with the try, the BLB tries. It was a beautiful performance by them. They were home and hosed with 20 minutes still to go, to be honest. Okay, so with that in mind, what we'll likely see again, I mean, they like the 7-1, don't they? It's worked out well for them so far. You can't really blame them if they wanted to do it again. They got Jegu, who plopped up and from the back row and played in the centre exceedingly well. Would they go it again? I don't know. Let's see. The forwards, I'm going to go almost exactly the same, but not quite. Just Mr. Miafu going back into the second row following his illness. He made a huge impact off the bench last week, but I expect them to go put him in the starting team, get 50 minutes out of him, because I think this is now officially their number one pack of forwards. I don't think there's any injuries getting people missing here or anything like that. This is a beast of a pack, and I expect them to go again. Cross and Budahon, the flankers, have had an exceptional championship and ably assisted by Gregory Aldry in the back row there. He's almost been like the third piece of that jigsaw, whereas normally he's one of the leaders there. Expect them to go after the scrum, expect them to maul, expect them to carry heavy and have beautiful hands to set the French backs a little bit free as well. Beastly pack. Into the backs, Luku to continue at 9 after an exceptional performance in Ireland. And then the 13 jersey goes to Fiku, who is now really racing high on the list of all-time French players, getting close to 100 caps. Not there yet, but getting closer all the time. A few other players to pick out from that back line. I thought Mo Afana had the best game I've ever seen him play last weekend. So incredibly physical. It was a notch up. Like, I've seen him as more of a facilitator, more of a helping other people play well. But for me, he was outstanding last week against Ireland. And of course, I mean, the other talents speak for themselves. I think BLB is looking like he's going to be heading towards player of the tournament. I think he's the front runner at the moment, and another good performance on Saturday could see him get that title. He's also got 6 tries already, and I think the tournament record is 7. Not beyond him, is it, to get another couple or more against the Scots and take that little title away as well. What do we want to see from this French team? Well, I mean, what are they going to want out of this? They are going to want to absolutely take Scotland to the cleaners. They're going to want to humiliate them, embarrass them, like in the best, most sporting way. You know, they're going to want to run all over the top of them, because the number of points they've scored in this championship already is enormous. And it could end up being a new record, even with losing that one game against England. They are breaking all kinds of stuff this tournament, and I'm sure they just want to carry on and do that again and make sure everybody knows that that defeat against England was just a tiny blip on what has otherwise been a thoroughly dominant Six Nations. How are they going to do that? I mean, the blueprint's there. We don't need to go through it all again. They're just going to carry hard through those forwards, but also get to edges, look to offload, get through holes if they can, and then flood. And if not, they'll get people to narrow up, and then they will exploit the wide channels where they've got so much talent and ability. And especially if they get some turnovers, then you can expect Pano to be ranging across the pitch like he did in Dublin to set other people free. It's dangerous, it's exciting, but as we know, the French sometimes are liable to just, somehow not get it right mentally, and that is the danger for them. Other records that might go on Saturday, or in fact, one of them is likely to go. Ramos is 7 points away from being the top scorer of all time for France, overtaking Freddie Michalak if he gets that. Damien Penaud equalled the French try-scoring record of all time last weekend in Dublin. Dropped the week before, back in the team now, and one more will get him that record outright ahead of Serge Blanco. I mean, there could be so much for this French team to celebrate in Paris on Saturday night. It could be huge. It could be enormous. And of course, they will want to do it even more for their captain, who is now out and injured, and certainly his season's over, and probably, I'd imagine, is likely to miss the start of next season as well. Being able to do it for him, I'm sure, is just added extra motivation that they probably don't need. They've got a big man from Wigan in their changing room who was very keen to make sure there were no celebrations at the end of last week's game, or minimal anyway. I think Galthie looked particularly happy, and then Sean Edwards kind of went, no, save it for next week. And rightly so. They've got to stay on task, got to stay on focus, and make sure that they get the performance out, because if they do perform, and let's be honest, if they perform to 90% of their potential, then they are going to win this game and win the championship. And remember, they just need to win the game, to be honest, to win the championship. Their points difference is so enormous that the bonus point really is highly unlikely to make any difference whatsoever. Just realised I haven't shown you the bench. Not much to say here. It's all basically the same. Le Garrec comes in as the single back replacement. I am going to go 7-1, and Guillard goes back to the bench, although he's played really well. But Meafou, I think he's the starter, isn't he? He's the guy that's got the more experience. He's bigger. He has bigger impact. I just think, as well as Guillard's played, Meafou does come back in for me. Expect that bench to make a huge impact. If the game's close, which, to be honest, I doubt it will be, but if it is close, then expect these guys to come on and really take it away for the French. Alrighty, that's what I think. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Any other things that I haven't mentioned that you think will make a big impact in this game? Give this video a thumbs up while you're down there. If you don't mind, it helps other people find it. And you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next. And don't forget to get out and play.